This just in, breaking news. Guys, I cannot believe all of the things that are coming out here today in regards to the Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez case. But just as I told you before, we're going to be going over all of it as it comes across my desk. But the more evidence that comes out, the more that this case deserves to be reconsidered, as the evidence is pointing to a different truth. And it's not a truth that involves Tory Lanez being convicted and sent to prison for 10 years. The more information that comes out, it's obvious that there is so many key inconsistencies here, in conjunction with unreliable testimony and missing evidence, and that Tory Lanez has been convicted on a flawed as well as incomplete narrative. Now, you may be seeing a bunch of videos on the internet that might be giving you a little bit of a clip here, a little bit of information here. What I'm going to provide to you guys here today is a complete list of everything from the moment that Megan was interviewed by the police officers to this new evidence, all the way to provide you the inconsistencies in everybody's testimony. If you still have anyone in your life that just simply believes that Tory Lanez is guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt, send them this video and implore them to watch the entirety of this video. Not biased in nature, not subjective in nature, but as objective as what they possibly can, so that they can see all of the information, so that then they can make a decision. Let's get active. Now, the compilation of all of the evidence that I'm receiving is from a website. You'll see this at the top left of the screen. Nevertheless, here goes the table of contents of the information that we're about to go through. Now, the first thing that is important to go through is this assertion that Megan Thee Stallion was shot even to begin with. But you'll see right here, she'll say, "I ain't get cut by no glass." But let me tell you why they are saying that. Let's play the clip.
I ain't get cut by no glass, but let me tell you why they saying that.
Well, here's exactly why they're saying that, because she said it first, but she later changed her story. Now, what's new here is to actually watch her and her demeanor as she talked with the cops. Let's go. There she is.
Ma'am, do you think we're gonna go to jail?
What's that?
Do you think we're gonna go to jail?
I don't know. We're trying to figure it all out. As long as you guys cooperate with us and you guys tell us what happened, we'll go accordingly, okay? But if you guys are not telling us, if you guys are, then I don't think...
I really cannot go to jail.
Okay.
I cannot have that on my image.
Okay. So how did that happen to you?
Glass.
Glass? Where?
Where we were coming from. Hey, can we shoot I'm not from here, so I...
Okay.
That's the only place you got shot at? That's the only place you got shot?
I didn't get shot.
Oh, you did it?
No, ma'am. I mean, no, sir.
Well, she says it there.
Yeah.
Evidence of any shooting or anything? That's how we got dispatched.
Well, we have the gun here, and then we have other units. They're searching the house where it happened, so that's all we have so far.
So nothing happened in the vehicle?
No, we don't have any casings, no.
Okay, from what you've been told. Okay.
And then there's some cash over, looks like.
Was the person who got caught with the other people here that you have in handcuffs? Were they all together?
They were all together.
Yes, they were all in the same car.
Okay. And then, do we know how she got cut?
I believe when she stepped down, there's a glass.
She dropped a glass bottle, and then I think she stepped on it and cut herself, getting out of the vehicle.
Okay. So her friends didn't cut her then?
Right.
Well,
It's right down in Florida.
yeah.
Tory, rear passenger, step out of the vehicle. Show us your hands. Come out with your hands up. Okay? Come out, vehicle passenger, with your hands up. Hands up. All right, move back to the sound of my voice. Keep your hands up. Move back to the sound of my voice. Move back. Keep going. Keep going. Hey, stop, stop. Move to the left. Keep moving.
It's right down.
Now take a look at the bottle right here. It is obviously busted, and you can see all the liquid of the bottle all around the bottle. You can also see what appears to be footprints as she began to walk backwards. Now, if you take a look at the way that she got out of the car, right? Let's take another look. Now, bottle is broken on the ground right now. She gets out, and she steps right on the bottle. And if you noticed, she's not limping until she steps on the bottle. Watch. Hold on. Let's watch this again. You can audibly hear the bottle break, or that she stepped on shards. Now she's super limping. So with some of the officers visibly watching and audibly hearing her step on glass, and with her own admission that she had stepped on glass, that's how it came up to begin with. Now, line number 2, remember how she was saying that the police officer was being so rude to her within the hospital? Let's listen.
I get to the motherfucking hospital, the police being so rude to me. Well, what's going on? Like, da-da-da-da, you're being detained, da-da-da. Ma'am, I'm being detained, I'm leaking, but I'm still not saying what happened. Shit crazy.
Now let's watch a snippet of what actually happened at that hospital.
And so what happened with you were just walking by stepping on glass. I really cut on my right foot. I just stepped on glass the other day.
Now she says she stepped on glass just the other day.
So you were already hurt when you got into her. And then at that point, your friends were running and grabbing her.
The next lie, Megan claimed that she was trying to keep all of this off of the internet.
So, since y'all hoes so worried about it, yes, this nigga Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying. Why lie? I don't understand. I tried to keep the situation off the internet.
Now that also was a lie. 3 days after the incident, Megan took to Instagram to post this message here on the left about being shot. Day later, she contacted the authorities. About a week or so after that, she made vague public statements in regards to the incident. By the way, Tory was quiet this entire time. Then after that, she did the infamous live stream where you can poke holes through her story like Swiss cheese. Then a month after that, Tory finally said something. And then Tory gave us his side of the story a month after that. And yet another lie, Megan Thee Stallion in that Gayle King interview said that she never put her hands on anybody, right?
I never put my hands on anybody. I never raised my voice too loud. Like, this was one of them times where it was like, it shouldn't have got this crazy.
It shouldn't have escalated to the way that it did.
So I get out the car and it's like everything happens so fast. Yes. And all I hear is this man screaming. He said, dance. And he started shooting. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, he shot a couple of times.
But the evidence says otherwise. Now, due to guidelines on this platform, I may have to change this to a black and white screen. Nevertheless, eyewitnesses and physical evidence indicate that a physical fight between Megan Pete and Kelsey Harris. Kelsey had open wounds and cuts on her legs that were actively bleeding. No injuries were reported on Tory Lanez. The fight was between the women. Now we starting to heat up. If you guys remember from her infamous live stream that she talked about that there was a witness.
The people in the neighborhood, there's a witness. When the police came, because the neighbors called the police.
Now that witness goes by the name of Sean Kelly. He testified what he saw.
Wait, no, it didn't happen. No?
They shot out of the car?
The windows were open, that's why it sounded like either way. Yeah, I didn't really they were on my side. The girl opened the door, there was two girls fighting, and then they shot. And she got out of the car. and crawled over.
And that's not all he said. He also said that one of the women fired the first few shots while Tory was still in the car. Let's review the testimony. Question, okay. Did you state, sir, that the shorter gentleman didn't come out of the car until the initial shot fireworks had started? Sean Kelly says, yeah. Question, excuse me? Sean Kelly says, yes. So when the initial shot or fireworks had started, isn't it true that you stated my client was still in the car? Answer, yeah, I believe so. The shorter gentleman was in the car. He's repeating it. And then Sean Kelly says, yes. Okay. And did you state that initially you saw the two girls fighting? Sean Kelly says, I did, yes. Did you state that after you saw the two girls fighting, you saw one of the girls shoot? He says, I believe so. But thereafter, did you say that the shorter guy got involved at that point, trying to take the gun away? Megan's lawyer said, objection. The court overruled that. Overrule means that they want to hear the answer to that question. He repeats it and says, is that what you said? The witness says, yeah. So the witness is saying Tory tried to take the gun away, which was the exact same new written testimony from Kelsey's security guard. This is additional audio of Sean Kelly explaining exactly what happened. Pay attention.
The doors of the Escalade open and the girl come out and pull open the passenger door and started screaming and yelling at somebody in the car.
So the girl who came out of the passenger, you're talking about the front passenger?
No, the rear.
The rear passenger. So the girl comes out of the rear passenger and she goes to the front passenger?
Yes.
And she opens up the car door?
Yes.
And then what happens?
They're screaming and shouting at each other and they start fighting.
The two girls?
Yeah, I can see one feet coming out trying to kick her and the other one's fighting and then the passenger gets out.
So the girl who does the punching and the kicking is the girl that comes out of the back passenger?
The front. Can we stop there? Because I don't want to. I'll tell you, and then I want to go. My son's on his own.
Yeah, I understand. And it's loud with the cars.
I don't really want to. So basically, the car stopped. The girl in the back got out, started screaming and shouting, ripped the door, pulled the door open, but pulled it so sort of viciously. That's why I presume the driver got out. She starts screaming. She starts hitting the girl. The girl then had to start her feet come out. She started to kick the girl away. The passenger. They get out, they start fighting here, they start fighting. The driver comes around and tries to sort of break it up. It gets a bit more violent. And between them, the girl then climbs back into the front driver passenger seat.
Where's the shorter black guy?
He's in the back.
He's in the back of the car? Okay.
Then the gun...
And the girl shoots.
The driver's door's open.
You're seeing the girl shoot?
Can I help you? I think, is it this house?
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
So you see the girl doing the shooting?
I see what appears to be the girl standing here and shooting into the car. That's what it looked like to me. But it was dark and I'm above, but then the guy gets out again from the back.
Now, surprisingly, or unsurprisingly rather, what Sean Kelly is saying is perfectly corroborated by both security guards in this situation, right? Tory Lanez' bodyguard, and here goes his sworn statement over here towards the left, as well as Kelsey Harris's bodyguard, who was hired for the trial, who overheard Kelsey saying statements such as, how can I not tell on myself? And how am I protected if I tell certain things? So it's a lot more clear why she wanted immunity. Together, the statements of Smith, James, and Kelly paint a consistent picture. Two women were fighting. A woman fired the gun. Tory tried to de-escalate the situation. Now let's take another look to re-examine Kelsey's testimony throughout all of this, which has been inconsistent to say the least. Kelsey Harris initially told prosecutors that she witnessed the shooting, but later recanted on the stand, admitting that she lied under pressure. Her Fifth Amendment plea and contradictions compelled the prosecution to introduce her prior statements in full, highlighting their unreliability. Her credibility was compromised, raising reasonable doubt. You can see here in image 14, I can't tell you the time, but yes, July 12, 2020. Question, and you saw what happened during the shooting, didn't you? Answer, again, no. The way I was positioned, honestly, no. Okay, in September, where you interviewed with us, it was not a blur, correct? Again, I said things to protect myself that night. Question, okay, well, you said, answer, that day. Question, you said it's a blur. You're trying to protect yourself, but you're telling us that you didn't see anything or you didn't hear anything. It's a blur. Is that right? Answer, I didn't see anything, so... Again, when I spoke with you, I said a few different things. Question, did you shoot Tory? Or excuse me, did you shoot Megan? Answer, no. Who shot Megan? Answer, again, I was getting out of the car. All I heard was shots I did not actually see. Question, did you tell us that when you looked at maybe the second or third gunshot, that's when you see Tory and he's in the front seat and he must have jumped over into the front seat and he's leaning over the door over the window? Do you remember telling us that? Answer, again, our interview was not 100% truthful. Now we're going to switch gears here slightly and speak about, did Tory even touch the firearm at all? All right. A forensic expert testified that 90% of DNA on the weapon belonged to an unknown male, not Tory Lanez. His DNA was not found on the magazine. Software used for analysis had documented instability and potential for false matches. An expert testified that if Tory had fired the gun 5 times, his DNA would be expected on the weapon, but it wasn't found. Female DNA was found on the gun. Kelsey tested positive for GSR, but her DNA was never tested again on the gun. All right. Tory Lanez's DNA was not on the magazine and only 0.01% on the firearm. This is an incredibly small amount, equivalent to picking up a blade of glass from a football field. I'm going to pause it right here. You guys can read all of these sworn testimonies and cross-reference to what it is that I just said. But remember how Megan described it.
In the car, shooting from the car, Megan?
He is standing up over the window, shooting.
So not only were the bullets never found, but then also they didn't find DNA on the firearm itself. We have sworn testimonies, spoken and written accounts from different people that say that a female fired the firearm. Yet we still have people that believe her story beyond a reasonable doubt.
And all I hear is this man screaming, he said, dance.
That was a lie as well. Now, both Sean Kelly and Kelsey testified that they did not hear Tory make that statement. And here goes the 2 testimonies right here.
I get to the hospital, the doctors do x-rays on my feet. Oh, ma'am, you got bullets in your feet, you got bullet fragments in your other foot. I'm thinking the doctors is the police, so I'm still trying not to tell them, like, nah, I didn't know I got shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm scared. Like, I've never been shot before. I don't have to lie about that.
You thought the doctors were the police, Megan? You talking about these doctors right here? By the way, none of these doctors were called in to testify in court. The first doctor, Dr. Anthony Lafredo, described the injury as a laceration from broken glass. There was no mention of gunshot wounds, fragments, or ballistic trauma. He also described Megan as pleasant and no acute distress. Interesting. Moving on to the right, Dr. Milton Little diagnosed bilateral gunshot wounds based on imaging. He removed 3 small fragments under general anesthesia and called wounds superficial, yet performed surgery anyway. Claims fragments were bagged and given to police. Now, when it comes to what these fragments were, we did also watch her step on glass. Remember that? But yet the fragments just seemed to poof, disappear, huh? Now enter the plastic surgeon, Dr. Anna Howell, described wounds as superficial and cleanly closed. X-rays showed no fractures, minimal residual shrapnel, Dr. Howell treated for cellulitis infection, discharged without mention of ballistic trauma. Of these doctors, one of which she thought these were police officers, the police, as she said, only one said gunshot. Now, in regards to these fragments that went missing, at preliminary hearings, detectives stated bullet fragments were missing. Prosecutors later claimed that the LAPD had them, an inconsistency suggesting evidence mismanagement or miscommunication. Prosecutors claim that the LAPD still has the bullet fragments allegedly removed from Megan's foot. Yet during the preliminary hearing, Detective Ryan Stogner stated that the fragments were missing. If LAPD had the fragments, why did the lead investigator testify in this manner? The chain of custody comes into question with a clear error. This casts doubt on the integrity and the completeness of the evidence. Now, there's additional pieces that this website goes over, such as Tory Lanez expressing concern over Megan before the arrest and then while he was also in police custody, as well as some of the medical inconsistencies that Megan claimed. Again, I'm gonna leave a link down in the description box down below if you wanna check out the website yourself. But at this point in the content, you know, I wanted to pass the question off to everyone in here. Hopefully you guys are still with me right now. I want to be able to lay out all of the evidence that we have at this particular junction so that you can be the judge. You can look at it yourself. Now, within all of this, the question really remains around, is there enough evidence here to convict Tory Lanez, and that there's not something else perhaps media-driven? Because to be convicted of all of these years in prison, there should be evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. So my question to you is that looking at all of this, is there not reasonable doubt? You have multiple people claiming that Tory did not shoot. Eyewitness testimony, not hearsay, not he said, she said. You now have new surveillance footage of the shots being wrung out. You don't have the bullets. The firearm was never brought into the courtroom. There's just so much here that I think leads to him being pardoned and perhaps a retrial. All right. Hashtag free Tory Lanez, baby. Guys, drop me your comments below. Again, I want to know what you think about this. And if we get enough comments, I'll go live and we'll discuss it. All right. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.
She belongs to the street.
Girl, don't hold my hand. You a mattress actress on the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl, but damn, how is that your only plan? What you gonna do when you get too old to strip and dance? Get up out your echo chamber screaming period and yes. You a low down dirty woman if you try to get knocked up by a high value man.